You always wanted the Huns in Rome too? Have you always felt that the nomadic factions have never had that strong aspect as they should have as compared to the Huns? Well, this mod is for you. If you like Rome 2, especially Divide et Impera, then this Hunnic overhaul is absolutely brilliant. Now, of course, the model which I talked with, Irish Bandito, he also has plans to add in the Vikings into DEI, add in all these factions. It's weird alternate history, but it's good history. And who doesn't want to play the Huns? The Huns are literally one of the most epic factions you will find. And when I played this mod, I was like, wow. And my eventual plan is simple. I want to go to the gates of Rome itself. I just don't want to go to the gates of Rome. I can go to the gates of Persepolis. I can go to the gates of Babylon. I can go to the gates of all the big cities in Rome too. And thanks to this wonderful overhaul, the Huns are just a fun faction to play. And if you play with Divide et Impera, it's really good because Divide et Impera has a focus on logistics. It has a focus on your army mechanics. Even if you built an army and you send it all the way over to XYZ province, you will still lose to attrition, provided you should have at least a decent baggage train, which you can recruit as well. And that's a really cool feature of Divide et Impera. I always like the fact that this always put an emphasis on logistics and realism. And if you play the Huns, you have to be careful because you have to fight this tribe that's called the Thisagete, and then the Arossi and all of these other tribes you have to deal with. It's not easy. And even if you play in a great Khan's court, there are people scheming for power, there are people that don't like you. It's a wealth of great political power play. Even though, while the mechanics may be more simple in Rome 2, it's just there's something different about playing this faction. Once you play it, you will get into that Attila mood. If you have played Attila and you like the Huns, then obviously the Huns are the most greatest faction within Attila itself. There's no doubt about that. There's absolutely no doubt about that. And even within this battle I played, I tried to fight the Huns. I played this with a submod called Alternative Campaign Experience for Divide et Impera. And that was really good because it increased the difficulty. It made the Huns playing a challenge. Playing these guys is not meant to be easy. It is not meant to be easy in any way, shape or form. And when I talked with Irish Bandito, the modder, about this, and what his goals are for this mod, he said this, that when he played Rome 1, he loved the look of the Huns, he loved their arrival, but Rome 2 didn't have that type of thing. At most, it's just the impeding growth of Rome's expansion, so he wanted a faction that would be equally scary. And I agree with that. We need more factions within Rome 2 that can provide a bit of a challenge. He also told me that the great thing with the Huns is people can have the mod active but not play as the Huns. And that's a really great feature as well. You can play the Huns and you can go and fight them. You can play the Vikings. This is very similar to New World, which is more of a fantasy alternate history mod, but low fantasy, mind you, low fantasy. At the very same time, this is more like a what-if scenario. As if the Huns would literally transport it, but that's for another time. But he's looking to find a way to make sure that the Huns become a dominant power as an AI down the line. And the idea of this campaign is that as the Huns, you've been brought back, rather than appearing at the end of Rome's golden age. They arrive when all the other empires also growing. So that creates some interesting roleplay to imagine the certain fear that certain factions would have encountering the Huns back in the late 200s, which would be a very aggressive play, which would be a very aggressive campaign to fight against. And of course, Irish Bandito loves the Huns and their badass faction, so they're really good. And he only plays Divide et Impera, so he doesn't play any other mods like this. Now why am I saying it like this? Because I think you should directly hear from what I talked to the modder. Once you know what modders are aiming for in Total War. Right now, it seems Total War is a bit dormant, as in content will come, but you'll have to wait a bit. But at the same time, there's a lot of great stuff in the Total War community that's been made. You go to the Rome Remastered modern community, you go to the Attila modern community, you go to even the Shogun 2 modern community. In fact, when I'm looking at a bunch of Korean modders, they're still working on their Steam. I was looking at the Discord of a Korean modding team, where they're now transferring their work from, let's say, the Steam and Steel workshop, and they're making a Warhammer Korean mod, which they already have done, and they're making it for public release sooner or later, but they're working on it. The future of Total War is going to become blossoming. It's going to become blossoming, whether it's new content from CA or whether it's new content from modders. There is going to be a huge amount of content in the future, and that's why I make these videos. That's why I make it like this. And normally I would have gone more scripted, but today I just wanted to say this is a great mod. You need to try it out. And the modder is working continuously on this mod. You know, he's updating various unit colors, reducing the amount of white cloth, and he's bringing back the classic dark yellow variants. And he said nobody was making a Huns mod, so he said, okay, I'm going to go. And he said, okay, I'm going to go and make it myself. Here's an interesting fact that he also found. This mod was because of DEI. He said that he had to look at one of the normal DEI units. They had one of the classic Hun hats on them. And then, okay, if it's in the DEI files, so why don't I simply add that hat to the whole roster and call it a day? So he just made it, and this is a great submod. I would like to see a bit more like what if the medieval faction came into Rome 2's time period? What if the Vikings came? Now this is not historically accurate, but it would be fun. I remember playing a mod where I had medieval knights in Attila fighting Roman legionaries. Seriously, I had a screenshot of it or somewhere, but I can't remember that mod now. But that's the stuff that I would like to see. It's all historically accurate to whatever degree you can think of it as. But it is a fantastic mod if you want difficulty. If you want to see how playing the Huns is in Et Imperia, then yeah. If you want to see the Huns, I do hope that Irish Bandito makes a non-DI overhaul, meaning the same mod, but you can play it in the Rome 2 Grand Campaign. I think that would be absolutely fantastic. This mod is absolutely fantastic. You need to try it out, and that's the reason. Try out this mod and tell me what you think. I want to know what you think of this sub mod for Rome 2. It's a really good one. Don't forget to leave a like, share, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you on the next video.